Okay, coaches, Mike Kuchar, www.xandolabs.com. Special thanks goes out to Coach Brandon Staley, who is now the defensive coordinator at James Madison University. Put together a terrific clinic report on his match, skate, and flood coverage principles that which are based off of his three deep zone. This is a tremendous job and some excellent clips here. You're going to see clips here from University of Alabama, from Tennessee, from John Carroll, where Brandon Staley was coaching, okay, last year. So a plethora of clips here that we're going to talk you through. We're going to teach you through here. And again, coaches, if you want full access to Coach Staley's clinic report, you can log on at www.xandolabs.com and become an insider member today. Tremendous job on this, especially the detail work that Coach put into this. So we'll talk through a couple clips here. Now we're going to start with what's going to be a match coverage. Now match coverage is going to be played to any 2x2 formation. So the tight end's up top here, you have a receiver up top here. Okay, then you have obviously two down here. And what match coverage does, it tells defense that they're going to look like it's going to be, to show a two deep shell, and how you want to do this is up to you. Okay, coach disguises as much as possible. He is going to drop, and he plays with a right and left safety. He is going to drop this safety down. This safety is going to play all of number 2 if he is vertical. Coach talks about that technique in the full-length clinic report. Very, very detailed technique, and it really becomes a man concept once that receiver is vertical. Corners are going to press bail on the outside. You see excellent job, especially by the corner up top on his press bail technique. He's going to show like it's going to be cover 3. It's going to end up really looking like cover 1. I think that's the difference in this coverage. It gives the illusion of cover 3, but it becomes a man matchup coverage. Slot's going to zin in and out. There's that safety drop. Okay, and you see, Coach talks about the technique, but you want to stay as square as you can on a number 2 slot receiver. Same thing over here, okay, by this outside linebacker. And what that does is that if they're allowed to absorb both those slots, it frees up this free safety to be a traditional deep hole player. A lot of you that play cover 3 know that sometimes that's not the case. You have these vertical, these seam stretching routes. They're going to push to the deep safety. It's going to force him to make a choice. You don't have that option here, because it matches up like cover 1, and it helps protect you for those 4 vertical routes. Pretty good job up top by that corner breaking. Okay, on his bail technique, breaking on the football. Okay, same formation here. Tight end's going to be up top. It's still a 2x2 formation. Okay, so it's still going to be a match coverage. Okay, which is a predetermined concept call in 2x2 in this coverage. Okay, here comes the drop safety. Once he starts to drop, okay, you see the disguise here by the corner. He's going to start his press bail. Now watch the technique, okay, of the drop safety. Again, he is handling all of number 2 if number 2 is out or if number 2 is vertical. Okay, right now he's vertical. This player needs to do a better job of keeping his shoulder square and absorbing that. Okay, now what happens here, this player that already has outside leverage. I think this is a pretty big coaching point. We'll get into a couple clips as we go here. But that drop safety has outside leverage on that slot, so he can't allow himself to get widened here. What this receiver is trying to do is trying to widen and then push to get to the middle of the field. And again, he gets beat. Okay, he's going to allow a little bit of a hole throw for the quarterback. You see a better job by this safety playing that technique. The player gets a little too much width in the seam here. He doesn't need to move any outside further than that. The quarterback's able to put the ball right in the hole. But again, with this coverage is you're setting up a good shot by that free safety coming down, bearing on the ball, and allowing him to be a ball hawk, whatever you want to call it, be a true center field player. Okay. This is Alabama versus Tennessee. Coach Staley did work a certain time at Tennessee as a graduate assistant. Did have access to these cut-ups, which is obviously a huge advantage for him. But 2x2, tied it into the boundary. Okay, you're going to see late the safety rotations coming late. Okay, he becomes middle of the field safety. Now, pretty good job right here. Now, this is what coach calls undercutting the route. Again, he's going to have outside leverage right now. Okay, see, this is the difference here. He's able to square his feet, and I think that's what's important in terms of the technique. Coach talks about a shuffle technique, okay, staying square. Now, once he determines that he's past him, and again, he does have deep safety help over here, so he doesn't have to be so conscious in man coverage when it's zero help, when there's nobody back there. Okay, he could still afford to lose a little ground. Now he's in a spot, okay, where he has body presence to play top down and possibly undercut the route. It almost becomes a man turn in this situation. Okay, 2x2 formation again. Here's a tight end up top. Again, we're talking all match coverage. So now it's not going to be as much a disguise. So now we're coming down to the boundary here. He's going to play number 2 if he's vertical. Now watch the late bail technique of the corner up top. Looking at this corner up top. Late bail technique. All right, now this safety, okay, he's got plenty of room to leverage here. He's going to play everything top down. This is the out route. Okay, so again, he's going to play number 2 vertical, or he's going to play number 2 out. He's going to collapse on that route. Easy play for him. Now, the thing I do want to show you, which I think Coach mentioned, is a pretty good coaching point, is the opposite safety. Okay, watch his technique here. Excellent technique. Okay, shuffling, staying square. Okay, at this point, this is a great thing. If that slot receiver is going to push outside of you, okay, you want that. All right, because now he's not stretching that seam. He's not doing it. He's not making that safety, okay, account for him. He's not releasing inside that safety. So this is a fine thing. This turns into a man turn for that safety, and it's just like playing man-to-man coverage, pin the hip, and that's really all that is. Pretty good job right there. It's a great technique. See that. That position is what Coach calls a star. Okay, this one we're going to show you, and we diagram this in the full-length clinic report, is the curl flat concept. And again, if you're showing cover 3 pre-snap, we all know that offenses are going to try to attack you this way. So we're looking at the bottom of the screen here. Okay, safety's already dropped up top. Okay, he's man-to-man on number 2 if 2 is vertical or 2 is out. We're looking right over here at this combination. Now, we talked to Coach Daly. This corner can play press. He can play press man. It doesn't always have to be a press bail. In this situation, he's doing exactly that. Now, the difference is, here comes a curl out combination. Let's let this thing play out. Okay? Here comes a curl by number 1. Here comes the arrow route or out route or flat route by number 2. The coaching point is this, is not to have this receiver, even though he's a flat player, drive on that flat right away. Okay, he wants to leverage the 2 of them. Okay, talks about rallying to the flat based on quarterback's demeanor if he throws it. And obviously this kid does an excellent job right here. This is exactly what you want. Sits in there, he's able to leverage both routes. Breaks on the ball. Big play. Okay, so now we're going to show you what happens when number 2 goes under. Okay, this is Alabama, spring game, spring practice. Okay, there's a tight end up top. Okay, here's 2 wide over here. This safety's starting to creep right now. He's disguising it. And again, he's going to handle number 2 if he's out or he's vertical right now. This receiver is going to handle the vertical or out of number 2 to this side. There's a rotation. Okay, now, since he is vertical, the corner is going to absorb him. Since he is vertical, okay, the star is going to absorb him, which is the outside backer. Now, the difference is now to the top of the screen as I rewind this for you. The tight end is under. Okay, so right now, this player now sees under, under, under. That's the call he's making. That alerts this side of the defense that they are now not playing any man concepts. They are zoning to that side. Okay, now he just pushes off the quarterback and reads quarterback eyes like a traditional zone dropper. The difference is now the hook player opposite has to play 3 through. So now this hook player, because he's vertical, these 2 are absorbing those routes. The backside hook player, the backside inside linebacker, has to be aware of that underneath route, and he has to drive on that. Okay, which he does right here. Okay, so that's what you want in that scenario. Okay, there's motion to 2x2. Again, excellent job by this receiver up top. Excellent job playing a match concept. Okay, shuffling to stay square. It does a great job holding that free safety. All right, another under route as we're going to see to the bottom of the screen here. Okay, here's the under. So right now he's saying under, under, under. He is releasing that player to the backside hook player. And he's in a good spot to drive that. And this side just becomes zone right now in that situation. Tight end at the bottom. Okay, here comes the rotation. Here comes the safety rotation. They're going to disguise it. Here comes the deep safety. Here's the drop safety. He's got all of number 2 if he's vertical or out. Okay, now right now he's vertical. Okay, but now you see number 1 comes under. Doesn't matter who it is. Corner's playing a 3D principle. Under's the call. Okay, the backside hook defender has to be aware of that. He's going to wall that thing off. I mean, could do a little job planting a little quicker, but that's where he needs to be. So you see the concept of that under. Once those players make that under call, that side becomes a zone.